Hi there, this is Dave and welcome to another crowdsourced video detailing my Discord server's top 10 best JRPG Paladins. So far we've discussed monks, thieves, white mages, black mages, archers, bards, dancers, gunners, sages, summoners, red mages, blue mages, doggies, robots, lancers, and ninjas. But now it's time for the warriors of light and virtue to get all holier than thou on us. This series seems to be pretty popular, and if you want to take part 2, be sure to come and join the Discord. Please keep in mind that this is not necessarily my opinion, but the opinion of the best Discord server around. So join and become part of the fun as the series continues throughout the rest of the year. Number 10, submitted by Parazophilus Z and Corvus Caw, and receiving 34 votes is Chris from Suikoden 3. As the captain of the Holy Knights of Zexen, the aptly named Silver Maiden is a cooler, ladier Cecil. Similar to her tortured hero from Final Fantasy IV, though, she comes loaded with moral crises, daddy issues, and a redemptive story arc. In fact, depending on the order in which you've played the first couple of chapters of the game, you could easily spend a while thinking that Chris is actually one of the game's main antagonists. She does have that resting bitch glare on point. As one of the few female nominations, Chris exemplifies the Paladin class as a paragon of knightly virtue and femininity. Most of all, Paladins are noble, and Lady Chris does us all a favor by killing the most annoying character in Suikoden 3 at the end of Chapter 1, protecting us from ever having to hear from him again. Number 9, submitted by Casual Tom and receiving 34 votes, is Duran from Trials of Mana. Goldilocks here dreams of being a great knight like his late father Loki. As a fighter, he has the ability to provoke enemies to target himself, sparing his allies. In the mid-game, he can make a choice. Here, if he follows the path of light, he can be upgraded to a knight, and it's then where he can equip shields and cast healing magic to aid his allies. From there, he can be upgraded further into a holy knight with either the paladin or liege class. As a paladin, he can imbue all of his allies' weapons with holy attack properties, and as a liege, he can heal all of his allies' status effects. In the remake, his ultimate level 4 light class is Divine Hero, which can heal the entire party with super healing and grant everybody health beyond their maximum HP cap. No one needs that annoying ass Charlotte running her mouth whenever Duran's around. Number 8, submitted by Corvus Caw and receiving 35 votes, is Chaz from Phantasy Star 4, The End of the Millennium. Chaz is a dumb, sweaty himbo who should be kept as far from mechanical devices as possible, because he'll definitely break them. However, his good heart makes up for his bad brain. The Phantasy Star series is not your typical JRPG setting, and Chaz is not your typical JRPG paladin. Initially a street punk, he's plucked from obscurity by a beautiful and respected monster hunter to become her apprentice. However, whenever he finds out that he's the chosen hero of light who's been pegged to fight against the darkness, he really doesn't want to do it, which is something that I can understand. Blondie is a bit frail for a main character. That said, he does have access to healing magic, as well as light attack magic, and his Paladin Blow or Paradin Blow move. Thanks Sega for that wonderful 90s translation. Number 7, submitted by TT Paradigm Shift and receiving 38 votes, is Flynn of Tales of Vesperia. Flynn serves as a great parallel to Yuri, because while Yuri represents chaos and taking measures into his own hands, Flynn is all about law and order. While their sense of justice may be universal, Flynn sees the big picture, and prefers to handle the corruption of the Empire by changing the system from the inside, while Yuri opts to work in the guilds. Originally only available in one battle, the definitive edition promoted him to a full-fledged party member. Our hot little blonde boasts a shield and a sword, as well as plenty of restorative spells, such as First Aid and Guardian Field. While he won't necessarily play a part of a primary healer like Estelle, Flynn's offensive, defensive, and healing abilities make it easy for him to slide into any party configuration. Number 6, submitted by Art Caravan and receiving 40 votes, is Ulbrich of Octopath Traveler. This strong, brooding, silent paragon of virtue is a former knight of Hornburg, which fell when his king was betrayed by fellow knight Earnhardt. After finding a lead on his old comrade, he tracks him down in search for answers about his treachery, while also looking for a new purpose in life. In battle, he's a tank, able to charge his defense for lethal attacks and take hits for weaker party members with cover or attracting enemies with insight. He can use both swords and spears to attack one at a time or all at once, and his eternally useful spearhead skill lets him act faster the next turn. He can also buff his attack and defense with skills, even breaking the natural damage cap with surpassing power. All of this combined with the sub-job system definitely proves that he is worthy of his title, Ulbrich, the Unbending Blade. Number 5, submitted by Power Panda and receiving 42 votes, is Glenn from Chrono Cross. In a game with 44 characters, it's hard for any single character to shine, and yet Glenn does just that. He was the character that Square chose to put into the demo. He was the only optional character featured in the recent Another Eden crossover event. He is the character that coined the term Kid Ditcher, as you dump that annoying bitch and leave her to her fate to recruit this badass. And while most characters barely have any story to speak of, Glenn has entire plot lines centered around him. In battle, he is a force to be reckoned with, as the only character who can double-tech with Surge, forming an X-Strike, which can carry the team throughout the game. Also, as a green innate, he can use the heal line of spells at full power, not to mention equip the most powerful sword in the game, the Iron Lancer. Number 4, submitted by Nova Saber and receiving 42 votes, is Angelo from Dragon Quest VIII. While most Paladins are a hybrid class, focusing mostly on combat and then dabbling with magic, Angelo can be molded into whatever the situation requires. Although he and his brother Marcello are both Templar Knights, to say that they don't get along would be putting it mildly. There are two sides of the same coin, with Marcello acting as much more of a zealot, while Angelo is more worldly, cheating at poker, womanizing, philandering, and just not being the most altruistic of knights. This sexy silver fox is the best healer in the game, and many players will build him as such, focusing on stabs and charisma. But he can also be turned into a very competent frontline fighter by focusing on swords and bows, living up to his knightly paladin title. Number 3, submitted by Telsrob and receiving 44 votes, is Butters from South Park: The Stick of Truth. As the first friend the new kid, Sir Douchebag, makes after moving to South Park, Butters the Merciful is the greatest paladin in the realm of Zeron. His support is vital to the new kid's final victory and the capture of the Stick of Truth. Capitalizing on his innocent nature, Butters is able to protect his friends by being a born victim, which makes enemies twice as likely to attack him, leaving the rest of his party completely unharmed. Then, he uses his holy abilities to smite foes with his mighty hammer of justice, while simultaneously tending to his allies with healing touch. Also, his standard hammer attack deals damage twice, first the base, then additional holy powers. We all knew that he would do well on this poll. I mean, everybody knows it's Butters. That's me! Number 2, submitted by Black Mage Uramashi and Corvus Caw, and receiving 65 votes, is Agrius of Final Fantasy Tactics. A holy knight ordained by the church and charged with protecting Princess Ovelia with her life, this Amazonian commands her holy sword with deadly accuracy, and starts with some extra job points in white magic, allowing her to dabble in healing at the beginning. Interestingly too, she is the best compatibility with Ram's canonical zodiac sign, meaning that all of her support spells that she casts on him will almost always work. Fiercely dedicated to Ramsa and his cause to restore peace and help the innocent, she is the antithesis of the Dark Knight Gafgarion, standing for duty and honor. Agrius is one of those characters who leads the player in making the right choice by her sheer presence and conviction, serving others and doing what's best for the downtrodden at the expense of her own well-being and status. And number 1, submitted by Contigo and Sly Kreider, and receiving 82 votes, is Cecil of Final Fantasy IV. When we first meet Cecil, he's ensconced in darkness, questioning the path that the King of Barons set upon him. It's only later, whenever his dark blade proves ineffective at driving out evil, whenever he happens back upon Mysidia, and undergoes a trial to cleanse himself of his past sins and then embrace the light. Here, he gets a literal class change, where he lets his flowing locks down and gains the ability to protect his allies, as well as the ability to cast minor white magical spells. But probably most importantly, he gains the power to wield holy swords, because only with light can you drive out the darkness. Cecil earns his spot as the OG Paladin of Final Fantasy, not only in battle, but through his actions, decisions, and journey. Well, that's it for the top 10 best JRPG Paladins as decided by my Discord server. We do have quite a few more honorable mentions though. Christo of Dragon Quest IV, Leo of Lunar 2, Balthus, Seth, and Titania from the Fire Emblem series, Queen from Elda, and Snow from the Final Fantasy series, Elwyn from Radiata Stories, Momori from Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Cliff of Star Ocean 3, Aurora from Child of Light, Percy of Beyond the Beyond, Aisha from Last Rebellion, Arthur of Shining Force, and Matthias from Suikoden. Who are your favorite paladins and why? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to take part in future class ranking videos, come and join the Discord channel to make your voice be heard. The link to it can be found in the video description as well as the comments. I do hope to see you there. And as always, if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.